Hey, welcome back. Welcome back, everyone. I've been so excited for this, and here it finally is. Heroes Hype Tempo Storm Series Season 2, Week 1. My name is Lawrence. My pleasure to be joined by the Fox of Hots, the King of Heroes, your community coach, the neighborhood-friendly Kalamaka. Man, how are you?
I'm doing very well, man. How are you doing? And how is chat doing? Everybody who's tuned into us. But yeah, I'm doing really well, man. Thanks for asking.
I was about to say, man, you still a little jet lag F from...
Yeah. I got in at 2 o'clock in the morning last night and just took a real quick taxi home and crashed until, I don't know, like 9 or 10 this morning. And then I just played Zelda all day, trying to recuperate.
Yeah. I like it. I like it. For those, just to make sure we're all on the same page, Kala is the sixth man of Tempo Storm. I tried to pass some inspiring words of this young man during the tournament. He is the coach of our favorite professional team here at Heroes Hype, and partner with Tempo Storm. And he does an incredible job. His passion for not only the game, his team, but also the community shines in everything this man does. So congratulations.
So Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Well, without any further ado, we had an amazing season 1 of Heroes Hype Tempo Storm. It was the under siege of tournaments. You know, the Steven Seagal vehicle action epic. But here we are at season 2. So now this is Under Siege 2 Dark Territory. Stakes can't get any higher than this. Last season, 4 guys in the Ledger were able to take down the new guys in an incredible series, and they claimed over $1,400 prize pool on the line there. And we're looking to offer the teams that show up for the season a similar prize pool. You can donate yourself for free. You can add a free $1, put in the code HH Tempo 2. HH Tempo 2, because I have a good memory and I'm good at this and I know what I mean. But yeah, HH Tempo 2. Go over to the Matcherino page. You'll be able to add $1 to the prize pool. Again, it's just to show thanks to these guys to show up Wednesday, week in and week out, give us these entertaining games to talk about. So please consider doing it if you haven't already. There are plenty other things you can take part in as far as donations towards the prize pool. We got salt shakers, t-shirts, jerseys for Tempo Storm. And currently we have play sessions with the Tempo Storm streamer Unileska, good friend of mine. Always enjoy hanging out with her. I recommend it. So, yeah.
And next week we should have coaching sessions from players from Tempo. I haven't confirmed exactly which ones are going to be doing it yet, but we should have those up as well. So stay tuned for that too, because that'll be sweet.
Yeah, the community outreach from Tempo Storm continues. Plenty more exciting stuff over the course of the season, I'm certain. But man, we just came off of one of, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. It was the greatest Heroes of the Storm professional tournament to date.
You liked it?
And oh, dude, from top to bottom. I mean, it's in terms of production, next level. The teams that showed up put on some of the most amazing performances we'll ever see. The pecking order as far as regions goes has been entirely shaken up. I feel it's any region's guess who's going to come out on top of BlizzCon. But I was really curious to ask you a very specific question, Kyle.
Okay, here we go. Okay, no, hold on. This question's either going to be super troll until...
Oh, no.
The most legit thing.
No.
Okay, go.
Do you feel that Diva is competitively viable?
Yes. Yeah. She works super well in dive comps, and dive meta is really strong right now because of, Genji, and especially even more so with Malfurion being nerfed. Actually, Mouth is bad against dive, so yeah. Well, because he can get dove so easily. The only thing that goes for him is his Twilight Dream. But anyways, like Genji is really good right now. There's a bunch of other heroes that are really good with diving. Tyrael showed up a whole bunch this tournament. And yeah, Diva just complements that playstyle super well. She also has really good zoning potential. I think she's really strong on Infernal Shrines, BOE, and we've even seen her on Dragonshire be really effective. So I think all of those maps she can be really strong on. So
Yeah, I think she's. I think there's a lot of untapped potential yet left in that hero. We saw Nomia in particular get a good amount of value.
Yep.
Out of her in the tournament, but I think that's just the tip of the proverbial iceberg. I wouldn't be surprised if we get to see Diva in any capacity tonight.
I honestly I don't see why we wouldn't. She's actually really strong. It's just whether or not teams have practiced her enough, you know.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for Malthael to see if he'll show up. Like, I don't know, man. I'm not even sure if he will. Like, his kit is good, but it's not.
Dude, I think he's a beast, man.
Dude, I do too.
I got to play with him some earlier today for a while, and I was like, dude, in the right situation,
yes,
like
yes,
as long as he's not like blown up immediately or like the obvious choice to focus on,
yeah,
like a double warrior.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. He just kind of shows up.
My only concern with him is like if you miss your E, then like how do you get on targets with high mobility, especially considering how so many of the main heroes in meta have so much mobility. Like that's my only concern with him. Like how do you get on those heroes? Because you have to put Reaper's Mark on somebody, or that's what it's called, right? Yeah. Onto somebody in order to use your Wraith Strike to get onto them. So it's like if you can't use your E, how are you supposed to do that?
That is the one thing that I noticed. Like the E is slow enough to where as long as someone's somewhat astute, they can kind of just step around it.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think we're gonna be ready for the first match of the evening. I don't even know if Malthael's. Has it been 2 weeks for him yet?
No.
Yeah. So
yeah, it has, hasn't it?
I don't think we're gonna see him tonight. We're hearing from our good old fashioned argument. Starting next week, Malthael will be back.
Dude, I love all the memes that have started up just by you and me casting together.
Dude, it's only the beginning, man. I love casting with you. You know, I just realized, so we can actually hear Argy. You guys can't. So he's telling us what the match is, so we're both sitting there listening to him. You know, probably like, why are they just silent for right now? We're going to be starting with the Galactic Space Cowboys against Anhedonia. 2 new names as far as I'm aware. That's one thing I'm really impressed with. Tonight, 22 teams registered, if memory serves correctly.
22?
Showing no shortage of interest in one of the long-standing traditions of the amateur heroes of the Storm scene. I'm sure there's a lot of players who feel real inspired by what they saw over the midseason brawl, and they're going to look to come in here and make that exclamation point. Every week counts towards the finals. Start racking up those points, so jump in early. Get in here. We've just heard from our good old-fashioned Braxis has been banned out.
Okay, so it's Galactic Space Cowboys versus whom?
Oh, you're Anhedonia.
Anhedonia?
Oh, I'm looking in chat. We love you, Kala. See?
Dude, I love them. Where's the Haloran love? Come on, let's get the Haloran love in here. That's what I'm talking about.
Someone in the Discord was like, I love Haloran. I was like, oh wow.
People are so nice, man.
We've just heard from our good old fashioned argue. You know, Kala.
Yes. Wait, hold on. Do they not make them like that?
They just don't make them like that anymore.
Same, dude. Same.
Heard from our good old fashioned argue. Forehead Junction taken off the board. No StarCraft maps just yet. I hope we get Infernal Shrines personally.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that map. It's so fun, and like I find, especially like the games that you and I all cast. Do you remember like what was it, like a 4% or 5% core game? Games get pretty wild in Heroes Hype on Infernal Shrines. So I hope we get to see that map as well.
Wild could be something of an understatement, man. We've seen some interesting progressions of events in this very tournament. I think we might see some fireworks out of the gate on that front. We'll see. I'm hoping for Infernal Shrines. Wouldn't mind a Tomb of the Spider Queen shakeup.
I've been liking a lot more BOE lately, just because of the style of comps that come out. Like, I don't know. I really like that map, and it shows like if a team knows how to really like prioritize camps and how to work with them properly, and you get to see a bunch of cool stuff come out for teams. So I hope we get to see BOE too.
I think Argy said where we were going. I didn't catch. We're going to Cursed Hollow.
Ooh, that's my favorite map. That's the all-time favorite. #1 map, baby. Bless up.
Now, Kyle, walk me through why this is your favorite map.
Because like there's so many different ways to end the game. Like you can end traditionally, but just by focusing the objective. You can just completely out macro your opponents by like drafting a whole bunch of globals because it's such a big map. There's 2 bosses, so oftentimes you see forced fights on either of those locations, and it also enables like a lot of playmaking potential with like Falstad Gust, with Holy Ground Ontario, with a Nubarak Web, rest in peace Tempo Storm, like all types of stuff like that. Like there's so many options on that map that can allow you to either win the game or take the game from behind. So like I flip and love that map, man. It's so good.
You know, I would echo all of that. One of the reasons why I really like Cursed Hollow as more of a caster than a player is because like the strategy that goes into it. There's always a number of correct decisions to be made, I feel, in almost any situation, and it just comes down to a team deciding on one and doing what they can to execute them. Normally when there's a lot of split efforts going on in Cursed Hollow, that's when you start to see momentum shifts back the other way. It's like, hey, we just won this team fight. Let's go try to do 3 different things on the map. And then like the 3 people you killed all come back and they go to one spot and like find you trying to steal their bruiser camp with only 2 people. And then it's like, oh, well.
See, that's why I love it. And like to complement that, I was talking to Cawthon, the guy on my team, and
third guy.
Yeah, third guy. Yes, third guy. Nice. I call him that IRL. So does everybody else, and it's so good. Anyways, yeah. So we were talking about Abathur, and Cattle was like, "Man, why do you guys like Abathur so much?" And Cawthon was like, "I like Abathur so much because you can never play him to his potential. Like there's always something you could be doing with Abathur that you didn't do, or you could be doing better. Like he's such a high micro-intensive hero, and I feel like the same like Cursed Hollow and Abathur, or like that ideology with Abathur translates really well. Like there's always something you could be doing on Cursed Hollow better, just because there's so many different things on the map that you could be you know, taking or doing, or you know what I mean. Like there's just so many ways to play that map, and yeah, there's never a perfect way of doing it unless you lose in 6 minutes, which we've seen before. So that's pretty perfect. But yeah, you know what I mean. It's a high skill cap map.
It's deep, Colin.
No,
very philosophical. You can always do better with Abathur. Kyla, can I tell you a secret, man?
You sure can.
I don't own Abathur. I've never played a single game of Abathur.
No! Why?
I don't, dude. I think there's only 2 heroes now I don't own. Maybe 3. It's Abathur and the Lost Vikings. Just the micromanagement of it all, man. It's just not my suit. It's not my suit.
I can do this.
Roger that in the lobby just said, "What up, Lauren?"
That's so sad. That's so
I'm
sad.
sorry.
Wait, you played him, right? Like you played him on a free rotation?
No, I've never played a hero in all my time playing this game.
No, dude, that is
not
actually a flippin' tragedy.
Not even once, bro.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you are playing Abathur this week. You are 100% playing Abathur this week. And I'll be your Tracer, I'll be your Zeratul, I'll be whatever you need me to be, but you are playing Abathur this week.
What did I walk into? You know what? I'm not opposed to this.
He's amazing. He's so much fun. And he teaches you so much about the game. Like, oh, he's Abathur, man. Slug life.
Mm-hmm. We're getting into the lobby now. All right, I'll play some Abathur for you. For the Fox of Hots, Sway of Heroes, community coach, neighborhood friendly Kalamaka.
Thanks, man.
How can I say no?
Okay, well, we have a confirmation in or on voice now that you're going to be doing it. So yeah, you're going to be playing Abathur. 100% confirmed on stream. Y'all heard it first.
Anhedonia. On the right side of the lobby. Oh, Kwanzar Zabatak? Okay. This guy's from Heroes of the Storm. I know these jokers. We're about to see some high-level play, man. Kwanzar. This team is no slouch. Seen Twammy before. I think we're just about ready.
Yeah, what are these names? Wait. So QB, seen him, and that's pretty much it. These are all new names for me, so.
Yeah, the Galactic Space Cowboys. One of them in the lobby. What'd they say? Kwanzaa, I say, what up? Oh,
Cursed Hollow.
Welcome to Cursed Hollow.
Oh my. First game of the season 2. This is the beginning.
Dude,
Under Siege 2 Dark Territory.
I love that you say that.
Dude, I just saw your face when, wow, dude.
When you said that.
Yeah. you emoted a response.
Yeah, it's true.
It's fair.
I'm excited to see how Mid-Season Brawl affects this. A new brag ban, very, very typical. For Anhedonia is on the right?
Yes.
Ooh, and
I think we're gonna see quite a bit of inspiration from the Mid-Season Brawl. I wouldn't be entirely shocked to see Uther get first pick here. That was a staple all Mid-Season Brawl.
Oh my gosh, dude, Uther's insane.
Yep. Genji gets snatched off the board as well.
That's actually really good, because do you remember last season? Like, I couldn't. Nice, good call. I couldn't even like guess the way that draft was gonna go, because it seemed like we had our own amateur meta and competitive meta. But like, this is actually exactly Mid-Season Brawl. So I think it's better to see amateur meta and professional meta kind of be synonymous. So this is a great start so far.
I think there's a general cadence or tempo. See these sorts of things, like, you know, after the Western and Eastern clashes, you go into Hero League and you think you're playing against L5 with the exact same comp that would show up. And then we kind of got away from that for a little while. And over Season 1, I think we did start to see, you know, our own meta in the North American scene. But after the Mid-Season Bro, I mean, you saw some of the most inspiring heroes play. Why not emulate what you saw?
I completely agree. There's the classic E-Star Auriel Vala. Man, that thing is terrifying. On Cursed Hollow, it's not as good just because of how large the map is, and the laning phase is only, you know, for the first 2 minutes or so.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. And usually you want it paired with something like the Uther. So I would actually expect a Tassadar ban from Anhedonia for second phase, because that's really the only second support that Galactic Space Cowboys could be looking for to complement the Auriel Vala. But for Anhedonia here, what do you think we're seeing? Is it the Dahaka? I think it might be.
I think you would definitely want to consider
so
some global pressure. Dude, that's why you're the community coach, man.
Well, it was either they had to ban it or they picked it up. So they decided to pick it up. I wonder who their carry is going to be then. It's got to be Cassia, right? Or Greymane? Definitely a Greymane ban. Like, they have to ban off Greymane. Ooh, Illidan, cheeky.
Well, if I'm Galactic Space Cowboys, I'm strongly considering the Greymane ban.
Oh, yeah, I would too. 100%. Illidan... I was just thinking, Illidan fills the role of Dahaka. Like, he's not like the steroid carry like he used to be. He's definitely he fills the same role as Dahaka. You know, he's the split pusher with the Hunt, and like he's super good on this map. But banning Illidan here is actually banning from themselves.
I would agree with that. I mean, one thing that we saw at the Mid-Season Brawl is a lot of Hunt from Illidan. Yep. Pseudo global pressure is definitely something you could take full advantage of on a huge battleground like Cursed Hollow. I would strongly consider that, or Greymane. You can get away with Vala Greymane on the same team, but you really shoehorn a lot of auto attack damage on your comps, like as far as what you're relying on. Yeah. And with Uther having a 75 armor talent at level 7, not sure if you want to go that road. You take Greymane out of the equation.
Actually super smart to change the ban from Illidan to Greymane, because that's really the only hero aside from Cassia that Anhedonia could be looking to pick up for their for their carry. So I would definitely expect the Cassia, unless I'm missing something here, but we'll see what they end up going with. Now, 2 extra picks for Galactic Space Cowboys. You'd think you'd want some sort of global pressure here. Like Illidan would actually be okay for themselves.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you can isolate the Dahaka or Tassadar early on in the right situation, Illidan kind of just pretty much wins that. If they're able to isolate. Maybe a cheeky drag in the tower range would have something to say about that, but I'm not entirely sure there. And I also feel like they want to get their warrior with Dahaka already picked up, a new Breck banned out, and Arthas already out of here. I don't know if you want to wait to your last slot to take your main front line. They seemingly agree. They're going to pick up at least Varian.
Yeah, and like, okay, so Varian and Li Ming, they're looking to just blow up some heroes here. I like it, but we'll have to see what this last pickup is, because like this, you know, Li Ming, Varian, Val, Ariel, that's gonna be super scary when it comes to contesting the tributes. But so far they don't have a lot of map control, you know? So we'll have to see what they end up going with that last pick. I honestly think something like Falstad might be okay, but that's triple backline or quadruple backline at that point. It's pretty squishy. So yeah, we'll see what they end up going with. Now, the auto attack steroid hero. What are we gonna see?
I would not be surprised if we saw Meriden and Cassia to round it out for
me too.
Anhedonia. And then, to be honest, if I'm Galactic Space Cowboys, I would consider a Leoric last pick. We can get into the particulars of why of all that momentarily. But this is one of those, you know that meme, you tap the temple, it's like, you know, you gotta think smart. It's one of those because when you see Uther get picked up early on, you're immediately worried about the level 7 talent that gives 75 armor. Illidan and Chin!
So they are using Illidan, okay.
Ooh.
All right, that's pretty cheeky. Like, there's a lot of map control. Oh, let's go, baby! Yes, boys! Nice. Okay, so that's their response to the map. I was saying, like, what is this last hero going to be? Like, we need something that can actually, like, work on the map. And the Lost Vikings, last pick for Galactic Space Cowboys. Now, Lost Vikings is such a fantastic hero. In case anybody hasn't known, like, you control 3 heroes and you can basically sit on each one of the lanes, so you can do all of the soaking for your team while the rest of the 4 sit somewhere else. You know, on big maps like this, that hero gains so much value. So, you know, against the Dahaka and Illidan, it's actually pretty decent. It's just whether or not Galactic Space Cowboys have played this a bunch in the past and they're used to playing with it. So we'll see how this goes.
2 big things that came out of this draft for Galactic Space Cowboys, who happen to be a free agent team, no less.
Okay.
You see the Uther get picked first, and you're like, all right, you got to worry about 75 armor. I think we're going to see a lot more variant these days for taunt, because that gets around that. A lot of warriors engage off of stuns or roots, like Arthas, you know, Meriden, and everybody else. You get around that talent altogether if you take variant. And I was like, all right, if you take Ariel Vala first, right out of the gate, one of the things you like about Ariel is that she can just like help someone push lane like to death on a larger map though. But if you have the Lost Vikings, you can have everybody in one lane and Vikings just soak somewhere else. So I think we're gonna see some real fancy shenanigans.
Very true, I think so too. But I'll let you introduce the blue team.
Over on the left, first game of the entire season, Galactic Space Cowboys, the free agent team. Twamy's on variant, Riot, all caps, is playing the Lost Vikings, Keolu is on Vala, Sky Talus is what I'm going to go with, playing Ariel, and Li Ming is being played by Alchemist.
And on the right in red is Anhedonia. We got Roger that on Dahaka, Azukai on Tassadar, Zabutak on Chen, Kwanzar on Illidan, and QB on Uther. So we see
walks up.
Interesting. Okay, so yeah, there's full 4-man push in the top side. Actually gain a lot of value if you have the Vala plus Ariel up there. But I like the response with Anhedonia. They're not going to win the 4v4, so this is actually really smart to trade structures mid and top. So I like that for Anhedonia so far.
Definitely. I'm a little surprised to see Chin is not a part of this, because he can just stand out there and chug forever and really preserve those long cooldowns on Uther. But you have Tassadar. So seemingly they're doing a job well enough on their own. But it looks like both of these teams just had this gentleman's agreement. No level 1 fight. Let's just play some PvE.
It's very true. Where's our Tassadar up there? One issue so far, not able to stack any of that Templar's Will, which is, you know, an incredibly huge power spike once Tassadar hits 30 seconds on that. So we're probably not going to see that before the first tribute phase.
I would be liking to agree. I mean, we're going to see 1 fort apiece get claimed a minute and 15 seconds into this bad boy. Not the start I anticipated, but with these compositions, I can't say I'm ultimately surprised. Eric Swift holding his own against Chin. Roger that's going to clear out the wave up top. Both teams minding their business after those early siege shenanigans. No takedowns.
Nothing yet. Galactic Space Cowboys now looking to try to take this this mid wall down while the response goes down in the bottom for Anhedonia. Both these teams just saying, like, look, we don't want to face into each other. Like, they're both pretty much doing their own thing. It's like a full PvE game at this point. Neither team's electing to back up and look for their siege camp, which is spawning in 3 seconds. And Eric actually getting dove by Illidan. No soak now for the bottom side of the map. I expect to see one of those Vikings head down there.
Not swift enough. Those little feet were not able to get the Viking out of there, netting the first third of a takedown. Zeromax said, taunt counts as a silence and procs Guardian of Ancient Kings, by the way. Today I learned. Oh no for Varian. Wow.
What counts as a silence?
a taunt.
Oh, I thought it didn't.
This is
Interesting.
I'm no expert. I don't know.
Oh, we'll have to test afterwards. But actually, yeah, so Illidan does end up going to look for the siege camp, not gaining as much value because it's on the bottom side of the map, the same with the tribute. So, wonder how these teams are going to play out this first tribute phase.
I mean, they seemingly are allergic to team fighting, so I'm imagining we're not going to see too much of a scuffle over this. Sky Talus and Outcast already trying to pick up the tribute. Twaimi and Carlo playing bodyguard, and with no interruption whatsoever from Anhedonia in the first tribute, we'll go over to the Galactic Space Cowboys.
That's actually pretty scary because getting those first tributes with the Lost Vikings, you know, it can basically lead to a snowball advantage later on in the game, especially if they manage to get the first curse, because, you know, having a Viking in each lane to soak is like absolutely insane. So Anhedonia needs to make sure that they're stepping up to contest these as to, you know, remove that from happening in the future.
I'm curious to see where they're going to try to put their eggs in what baskets, so to speak. We see Illidan trying to help himself to the old Bruiser camp on the left side of the map, along with Uther. Sky Talus and Kialo appearing to be none the wiser.
Ooh, this
Outcast
is
low on mana, though. This is going to be quite interesting. The Detainment Strike goes out, snaps the whip on Zabutek. Kialu finds Chin for the trouble. Outcast is like, oh, I've checked my mana bar, I should go. But Kialu's like, help, please?
The rush shot was fantastic. Like right on top of the Vala, no tongues needed, just a whole bunch of AoE damage, and yeah, Vala goes down. It looks like Ariel's also gonna get taken down by the Illidan, and that's a 2 for nothing. Anhedonia responding very well and taking that second tribute. They're pinging the boss now. It looks like they're planning on taking away the enemy boss from them.
You have Illidan and Chin in this early in the game. You get a couple of takedowns. Why not help yourself to the enemy team's boss? Seemingly, Anhedonia are going to agree. That'll be a good amount of macro pressure. This early in the game, this bad boy isn't going to do too much damage, but it's just taking that option off for later on. It draws the eye of the Galactic Space Cowboys. Twaimi and Kialo are like, hey guys, there's something going on over here. You might want to check this out. Oh, with this low health bar on Varian, I don't know if it's worth it for them to go in there.
No, not at all, actually. The drag goes out, and there goes the Varian really quickly, and Ariel also stunned up by the boss route there, and that's another 2 for 0, and the boss goes over to Anhedonia. This is definitely snowballing in the red team's favor at this point.
Eric's gonna get taken down yet again, and this is starting to get a little bit out of hand for the members of the Galactic Space Cowboys. The coordination of being a free agent team is having something of a tough time responding to this macro pressure. Stolen Bruiser camp, false play. It's really starting to catapult Anhedonia ahead. They're gonna have heroics to get O off as well. Everything's looking good for them at the moment.
It sure is, and this actually would have been a potential end play if Anhedonia would have contested and taken that first tribute, because this would have been 3 out of 3 with a boss pushing and level 10. Like, we've seen multiple teams, you know, end in 6 minutes with those sort of conditions. So not quite there for Anhedonia. So boss just pushes up and gets a little bit of damage on the bottom fork, but 2 out of 3 for Anhedonia. They're looking at getting that curse next point, especially considering how Space Cowboys aren't going to be able to contest without the heroics.
I definitely agree with you. If they had all 3 of those tributes, we might be talking about the end of the game sooner rather than later, but can't be too upset with how things have gone so far. Roger, that's going to find a Viking in the top lane, and then a couple of members of the Galactic Space Cowboys, so he's going to start the back away, gets over to his teammates. Now this could be an interesting progression. The Detainment Strike into the root, Kipo, Sky Talus trolling the members of Anhedonia. But without their heroics, they're not feeling that.
Yeah, Space Cowboys, they 4-person rotate up top because Vikings are soaking every other lane, but they decide not to contest, and actually Chen finding the Varian here, and the hunt goes out onto the backside, onto the Vala, and she just has no peel, and that is a dead Demon Hunter.
And the force wall is backbreaking for Sky Talus. He tried to casually wade out of there, throws out their last bit of hope before getting taken down as well. Kwanzaa went off the top rope with the elbow drop, and it paves the way for 3 takedowns, a tribute. Anhedonia, they're doing it right now.
And I like this. Illidan just says, you know, I'm not worried about this wall. I'm going right for the keep. This is very indicative of, you know, that Fnatic level macro when it comes to curses, because this is exactly what they do too. They'll bust down the wall, they'll walk up while the boss pushes top like this. Like, I've seen them do this before. It's really scary. So, you know, because the fort's going to go down to the boss, and they get the keep here. So, fantastic play.
Very impressive so far. Outcast shows up, tries to use that disintegrate to encourage a retreat. Zabba's asking the chug. He is forever. Catches the divine shield. Does Quanzar. Chin's the topic of conversation. He's able to flip over Ariel, tip his feathered cap. He's out.
And like at the same time, like this bottom lane is pushing in mercilessly, and the fight turns. There goes the Aegis, but it's just not enough. Varian now looking like he's gonna go down too. The drag does land onto the warrior. One last protect, and he's going to be dead, just like in
no! Attack. Lag F calculated. Not like this. If Chin somehow stayed alive, this could have been potentially a game-ending scenario. But they're just gonna play it cool. Like, hey, look, we got the top keep. The bottom keep has seen better days. We got both of the bosses. We're up 3 levels. I see no reason to put ourselves out there. And do you see Olaf just hanging out over here in this bush?
Yeah, he's just getting some vision. You know,
the covert op strats.
Technically, he's a lost Viking at this point in enemy territory, just trying to get a little bit of information out for his team. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Whoops.
No. You've done it absolutely right, good sir.
Forgive me.
No need.
At this point, you know, it is very difficult being this far down with the Lost Viking because you don't have the team fight, right? And if you're down on XP, like, you're just gonna die. Eric getting caught out here on the wave. Looks like Roger that might not get the. Oh no, he's definitely gonna get that last auto right there. Let's go. So yeah.
See another Viking get taken down. Another elbow drop off the top rope sends Baylog back to base. Roger that's gonna be pushing in his bottom lane. And it just looks like the Galactic Space Cowboys are getting swarmed with an impressive amount of pressure.
Exactly, yeah. The charge goes out and the taunt onto Dahaka, but I'm not sure there's enough damage as well as the adaptation being popped there. And now it looks like Ariel's getting caught out. The drag lands and now she's on the back foot of the fight.
Outcast low on health, gets stunned, gets the Crystal Aegis, but it may just be delaying the inevitable. Old Hope Bar is going to try to sustain Ariel, not so much. Ariel gets taken down as well. Quanzar flips over the bottom keep, looking for more, jumps all over Keolu's face. Twamy's the next target. Can he skate out of there? And with 100 health, he gets away, but I think this might be it, Colin.
You know, you got the 3 dead, you have Illidan, so it's definitely going to be a core call. Twami probably just going to try to charge and get a taunt out, maybe see if he can save the life of his teammates, but sorry, his team, but yeah, it's definitely not happening. Illidan is just much too powerful when he gets to sit on a core like this alone, so definitely GG. I was worried about the cohesion that this team would have with the Lost Vikings, and it just wasn't quite there, but we did see some pretty cool stuff coming out.
It was a gutsy call. I mean, you're a free agent team. You might be playing with some of these guys the first time ever.
Yeah.
And you take something that requires a level of coordination like a Lost Vikings on Cursed Hollow, a bold strategy.
Yeah,
it
is.
It really is. It kind of did.
Yeah.
But I applaud it.
They tried, yeah. I'm not sure if they would have had enough Viking bribery stacks to get their siege camp for that first phase, but it was in their favor, right? And they did manage to get that first tribute, so their early game was actually pretty strong. Trading structures like that, isn't the best thing when you're the one with the stronger 4-man. So they could have actually responded and went from top into what was the enemy team pushing mid, right? Yeah, into mid and then just force that 4v4. I think they would have gained a lot more value there, and then just use that Viking bribery to grab the siege camp and have it push top. Because the tribute spawned bottom, man, they would have gained so much value. They definitely would have gotten a wall off of that just to try to push their advantage a little bit further. Because we saw the experience lead start going in Anhedonia's favor around level 7 and 8, right? And then we saw the 8 to 10. So they played the first 4 or 5 levels pretty darn well, but it's really difficult to stay cohesive when you do have a Lost Vikings on your team. So excellent game though.
See, for me, I think Galactic Space Cowboys, they had to get the upper hand in the first 4 minutes and not let go until the end of the game. Because when you're dealing with Chin and Illidan, you don't have a back line. Everybody's out on the frontier because they're gonna be there. And if you take the Lost Vikings, you're shorting yourself the team fight capability, because what normally is a hero, a ranged assassin or something, is 3 different bodies split across the map. Or even if they all show up, they don't exactly do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
So, they had that passive moment at the beginning of the game where Anhedonia, they're kind of playing around each other. And maybe that was a false sense of security for Galactic Space Cowboys. Like, hey guys, we can just establish this macro pressure. It's fine. the very first team fight, they're probably like, oh.
Yeah, it wasn't too hot. It's difficult because Chen and Illidan are like the same hero, right? Like they have that constant jump onto the back line, and it's so difficult when you're playing a Vala and you don't have the double support. The fact that the Uther was first picked, like it's super difficult to run Olive Ariel, nice, Vala Ariel off the 1-2 like that, because then you bank on your opponents not picking Tassadar or not banning Tassadar. Those were like the two conditions, and we talked about it, and then we saw the Tassadar get picked up, so it's like it makes it really difficult, and there's really no other supports that can complement. So picking up you know, Vala Ariel in the 1-2 like that, it's pretty difficult sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it was just tough. It felt to me like Galactic Space Cowboys. Roger, that said hello, my man. Hey, how's it going, man? You know, it's like, it felt to me like they had this plan all along. Like, you know, we'll take the Lost Vikings at the end and we'll stymie our opponents. They just won't see it coming.
Yeah.
But it just so turns out your enemy's comp has global pressure in Dahaka, auto attack sustained for days in Chen and Illidan, and you're relying on an auto attack damage dealer to get the upper hand.
I would argue double global with Illidan. Like they had full response to that Lost Vikings, and it wasn't even response. It was the Lost Vikings was the last pick of the game, so that was the response. I just don't think you can pick Lost Vikings into something like that. But like I said, they played pretty well, but yeah, it's just so tough to play with that hero, right? You know, you only see like the best of the best teams. Like my team doesn't play the Lost Vikings for that very reason. You know, that's not a really good excuse. It's something that we should fix. But yeah, like, you know, you only see like very specific teams play that hero just because, yeah, you have to play a very certain way in order to make him effective.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're going to have any plan on playing the Lost Vikings, you got to go into it with an audible in mind. Do that at the back end of the comp. Back into the draft, but once you saw Chen Illidan,
no,
I don't know, man. It might have just been time to go for something else.
Yeah, that's when you pull shoot out of the draft. You know what I'm saying? Like no chance.
Yeah, because it. You know, I applaud the idea, but it just didn't work out for him. But I mean, hey, great job, guys. That was the free agent team. Job well done. Show up again next week. I mean, please. It was definitely fun. We are going to see Anhedonia advance further into the tournament. And another thing to keep in mind, Anhedonia has members who went to the heroic 4 Heroes of the Dorm. So, don't feel like you were going up against a coordinated team.
Yeah.
But Kala, we've heard from our good old
Did you hear that? Yeah.
Anhedonia will be following them. They'll be taking on Firm Handshake. Oh, I'll use the right hand because I'm left.